Hello and welcome back to Investing for Generations, your channel for high quality stock research for long-term value investor. And today, as every weekend, I want to give you my weekly update on my real money portfolio for week 6 of 2022. And if you find any value in this video, then please subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell. And if you want to support me, because this needs a lot of time for all the research, then you can do that by PayPal Investing for Generation. Thank you. So last week earnings season just went on, and also some of my companies reported their earnings, and I want to go through this with you. So first, Ledger & Plaid reported their quarterly earnings, and they reported quite good numbers. In the 4Q, sales were a quarterly record of 1.33 billion, increase of 13% to the fourth quarter of 2020. The fourth quarter EPS was 77 cents. This was a decrease of 2 cents versus the fourth quarter of 2020. 2021 sales overall were at a record of 5.073 billion, an increase versus 2020 of 19%. And also the EPS for 2021 was at a record of $2.94. The guidance for 2022 is sales of 5.3 to 5.6 billion and an EPS of $2.70 to $3. So almost same like in 2021. And in addition to this record results, Ledger & Plaid increased again the dividend for the 50th consecutive year. And so Ledger & Plaid is a dividend king. And so overall quite good results for Ledger & Plaid in the last quarter and also in the full year 2021. And therefore the stock price after they published their earnings just jumped up to over $39. Now currently we are a little bit over $38. And my position of 112 shares of Ledger & Plaid is up 27% overall. And so I'm quite happy with Ledger & Plaid, a very solid investment, a very good company, a very good dividend payer. And so I will just stick with Ledger & Plaid. Then Jack Henry and Associates also published their earnings. And Jack Henry reported earnings of $1.30 per share on revenue of $493.9 million. The consensus earnings estimate was $1.16 per share on revenue of $468 million. Revenue grew 16.9% year over year. And also interesting, they expect for 2022 earnings of $4.75 to $4.82 on revenue of $1.939 billion to $1.942 billion. And this is higher than the previous guidance of the company. And so also here it seems like the business side is really good with Jack Henry and Associates, I would say, as always. Because when we look at the long-term chart over the last 10 years, then we see that this was really a great investment over the long run. Jack Henry, one of the best performer in the last decade on the stock market. And so I'm also happy to have my stake into this company, even if I bought in way too late. And so my 15 shares of Jack Henry are up 13%, and I will just stick to it, even if Jack Henry don't look that cheap with a P ratio of 35. But this business is just go on and on and on. And so I just stick with it as one of my smaller positions in my portfolio. Then also CocaCola reported their earnings last week. And CocaCola reported fourth quarter earnings for 2021 of 45 cents per share on a revenue of $9.5 billion. The consensus earnings estimate was 40 cents per share, so a little bit over that. The company said it expects 2022 earnings of $2.51 to $2.55 per share. The current consensus earnings estimate is $2.41 per share for the year ending December 31, 2022. So also here, it really seems like even the big player CocaCola, on the business side, everything is fine. They raise their guidance, or at least it's over the expected earnings for 2022, and so also here everything seems fine. So also the stock price of Coca-Cola really rised a lot over the last few months or year since the pandemic crash, and so my 50 shares of Coca-Cola are up now 61.75%. And also here Coca-Cola, of course, also a very good dividend payer, just a great company overall, with a big moat, a big brand, and so I will stick with it. The only problem is my position is too small. I should buy way more in the pandemic crash. Right now Coca-Cola also looks quite expensive, and so I will not add to this position, but I will hold my position. Then take a look at the transactions of last week. And I didn't do a lot, but I bought some more shares of T. Rowe Price. I added on February 11th, so on Friday, just before the market closed, I added 4 more shares for $144.90. And so I own now 45 shares of T. Rowe Price for an average purchase price of $168.65. And this position is down 14.47%. And why I think T. Rowe Price as a dividend aristocrat is a great long-term investment, I explained that almost a year ago. You find this video also on my channel as videos for all the companies I have in my portfolio, where I go deeper into the business model, explain why I think the business is great and why I think this is a great long-term investment. So you find this for T. Rowe Price. You find this also for all the other companies in my portfolio. After the latest drop now to $144 in T. Rowe Price, the stock already looked quite cheap, with a P ratio of only 11 and a forward dividend yield of 3.33%. I think could be a good time to buy and add to this great company. Then take the overview over my portfolio and start with the pie of my portfolio. Here you see all the positions in my portfolio. As I said, you find deeper analysis to all of these businesses on my channel. And then you see Facebook or Meta is the biggest position in my portfolio. This suffers a lot lately, of course, followed by MI Homes, Intel, Tencent, and so on. And I still have kind of big position of cash, 24.4% of my portfolio's cash. So if there will be a bigger market crash, and who knows, then of course I'm on the sideline with a lot of cash, and then I will just add or buy new to great companies. Then take a look at the performance, and first of all start with a look at the performance of every single stock in my portfolio for 2022. And then you see the Chinese companies like Baidu, Tencent, but also Alibaba, a little bit surprisingly, against the market are quite strong and in the plus in 2022 after they suffer so much in 2021. And at the end, of course, here the biggest loser of last week, Facebook or Meta, and PayPal, which really suffer lately after their earnings last week. And then take a look at the performance of every single stock since the start of this portfolio at the 2nd of December 2019. Then we see that the Bank of Nova Scotia is the best performing stock with 97% up, followed by Coca-Cola, JP Morgan, Berkshire Hathaway, Ledger & Platt, and so on. And at the end of the list, of course, I would say Alibaba, then PayPal, MI Homes, which is unbelievable undervalued in my view, and so on. You pick what you are interested in. And then just to make this round and make you understand how I come to my overall performance with this portfolio, here also a view on my closed trades so far. And you see there was some very good trades with Imperial Oil, Caterpillar, Walt Disney, and so on. And so I come to a performance in this portfolio for 2022. This is a first look of minus 7.01%, which is next to the disaster in Meta and PayPal, still an outperformance to the S&P 500. And then now lately, since I also go a little bit more international with some German stocks and the Chinese stocks, I decided to put here as a benchmark also the MSCI World. And here the MSCI World is a little bit better in 2022 with minus 6.41%. But of course, we are just in the middle of February, so maybe this say not so much yet. When we look at the performance overall since the start, it's the 2nd of December 2019 when I started this portfolio, and then we see that my performance since then is 49.06% compared to the S&P 500 with 41.9% and the MSCI World with 31.71%. So even after the disaster in the China stocks in 2021 and PayPal and Facebook last week, still outperformance to the market overall. And if you're interested how I handle this in the future and how is my performance in the future, then just subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell, and you will never miss another video. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. As I said before, if you like my videos and if you like the time and energy I put into that, you can support me via PayPal, investing for generation. Thank you. And with that, bye bye, take care, see you the next time.